We're back. We are back. We are back. We're no longer MIA. People were asking for our whereabouts, our health. We're healthy, thank God. Knock on wood. We had a bit of a turbulent middle part of the FPF season for CTA due to scheduling and how robust it was.
Mo has a real job now.
I do have a real job. Yes.
Iggy doesn't, but he's always at the field.
Yeah. There were so many games. I was playing like 8 games a week.
Yeah, yeah. Welcome back to CTA. For those who don't remember, that's Iggy. He's replacing Peasy, I guess. Replacing me whenever I'm not here. Eagles in the nest, and I'm here, Mocon. As we're past the halfway point now. We're well past the halfway point of the prelim round of the FPF Cup, the Fall Cup, and we'll get to some announcements in a couple seconds here. But just to let everyone know, we're going to be back. We're going to have a set time now. More likely than not, this will be the Thursday slot now, moving forward for the remainder of this season.
That means episodes go up Friday morning.
9 a.m. So just to give everyone a heads up on what will be the situation. It won't be bouncing to Thursday. It'll be Thursday from here on in up until the last day, which is December 10th, is it? Or December 8th?
December 9th?
9th? Yeah. Where are we playing the finals, by the way?
Brossard on Saturday and potentially Sunday at Hebert.
Sunday afternoon?
Afternoon, evening.
Okay. Anyway, you'll figure it out. We'll let you know. We'll let you know in due time. All right. Let's dive into it. We'll have Jerome Hovington on talk about Tier 3, and Brent Bodkin talk about Tier 1 in this episode of CTA. Just going to recap some stuff. I know there's some stuff that was mentioned early on, but the winter of 2024 will be discussed at a further later on date here. I was just trying to iron out some details about what will be the outlook for that season coming up, which isn't far away when you think about it. We're less than 3 months away, crazy enough. But the point of contention that we'll talk about is the rules committee meeting. An epic 5-hour battle yesterday of rules that was discussed by many who were part of it, the refs, staff members, players included. Let's talk about some of the key rules that is going to be in play for winter 2024. Eagle and Iggy, you take the floor, please.
So, like you said, 5 hours, about 60 rules or so that we went through, some of which were repeated. So, okay, fine. Some of them were just like little verbiage changes or clarifications on certain items. But I would say the big three, and if you remember other ones, feel free to add in. Co-ed, we will be offering a division that now requires you to have up to 3 men and 3 women. So today it's 4 and 2 effectively. It's technically the rule is no more than 4 men. Now it'll be no more than 3 men. So it really adds a balance to the division itself. Some of the feedback we've gotten in, especially in the upper division, like Tier 1 or Co-ed 1 in previous seasons, is that it is still a very much male-dominated division. So whoever has the best male players wins, and then the females are kind of there just to kind of like supplement. Versus now, it really is going to come down to having a proper balance of your team and really building up for it. We were holding back on doing it for a while until we had a larger community, and I think we've kind of reached that point where co-ed has exploded, our women's division has exploded, and we have a lot more demand for it. So we think this is the time to actually make that transition to go into a larger co-ed tier.
All right, so the gender ratio, we'll call it that, right? 3 male, 50-50, 3 male, 3 females at all times on the football field.
Yep.
And that's going to create quite the competition to have the best females on your roster. Going towards week 1 of 2024. Iggy, the next rule on hand that we can mention.
What else did we do?
Well, one that's not going to be very well received is we're changing the minimum points to not play 5 plays in terms of a delta. Today, if you get to 5 plays and the point difference is 18 points or more, it's game over. Yeah. This is now going down to 15 points or more.
So explain the reason on why we're going 15 points or more than 18 points or more with 5 plays left.
Yeah. So 18 points used to be just an arbitrary number. We're like, 3 scores, the game's out of hand. But now with the onside kick, there is a mathematical maximum number of points you can accumulate on your possession plus onside kick plus then 2-point convert, which is 14. So think of the situation. You have the ball, you score 6. You onside kick, complete it, score 6. Then on that second touchdown, you can go for 2 and get that as well. So 2. So 6, 6, 2, you're at 14. So going into 5 plays, if you're losing by 15 points or more, the game's done. You're not coming back. There's nothing you can do about it. The game's effectively over. And so we're not going to play out those 5 plays at the end. We're going to hear the argument about, oh, but I paid for it, 5 plays, this and that. Guy, it's garbage time, right? You turn off the game when you're watching it, when the game's already out of hand. Same thing here. We're trying to save a little bit of time as well, just in terms of the fields, because sometimes they run over. And
extracurriculars that happen.
Also that. But also, and this is allowing us to compensate and now introduce overtime into the regular season.
Mm-hmm. So, as of today, game ends in a tie. The game just ends in a tie. Now, what we're proposing and what will be in effect as of winter is, and has been approved exactly, is there will be regular season overtime. So it is a 1 round of extra points shootout where Team A or the home team gets to decide if they want to go first or second, or choose the side of the field that they want to play on, but that's not really an advantage here. And if the team decides to go for first, they have the option to go for 1 point or 2 points. If they do not convert, then their opponent has the chance to win the game by either going for 1 or 2. And if they are also unsuccessful, the game will still end in a tie. But if Team A goes on offense and scores 1 point or 2 points, even if they're successful for either one, Team B must go for 2 points to either win the game if Team A went for 1, or tie the game at 2 extra points each if they go for 2. And if both teams convert their 2-point converts, then the game will still end in a tie. So effectively, we're minimizing the number of potential ties, but that came at the cost, again, of reduced time or reduced 15-point spread games ending earlier.
So essentially, we're trying to increase the odds of having a winner and a loser.
Exactly that, yeah.
That's ridiculous. Because if you look at the history of FPF, we've had teams who've tied, not once, not twice, but 3 times in the season.
That's happened, yeah.
Doesn't help because in the playoff, people say, why? Well, in the playoff structure, a tie could help you, but could also kill you.
Yeah. Because wins is the first tiebreaker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, if you get 3 ties, you're in serious trouble, especially for your bubble team moving forward. So there's that. Any other key rules that we can mention on air right now?
So I think those are the main ones that were approved. Iggy, can you think of another one that was like significant enough to mention? We're gonna have a blog that is gonna go out that's gonna explain all the changes and everything, and then of course we'll have an updated version of the rule book that'll be coming out. But I think that's the main ones.
Yeah, the other one that might not receive a lot of, or may receive some criticism, may not receive a lot of love, the curtain one.
Oh, yeah, that's actually...
Let's elaborate on that, please.
So
I would like the people over to see Field 2, Field 1 action. Is that what it is?
No, it's not that.
So when we play on fields that have curtains that are non-transparent, okay? So when I say by this, if you've played in the Lachine Dome previously... Brossard. No. Well, Brossard, no, different. Mary Vic. Not Hebert, because Hebert, you can see through it, right? But any of the ones that have the dark curtain, essentially, that you can't see to the other field, what a lot of people were doing were using the curtains to brace themselves when they're coming in with a lot of speed, but not just like catch themselves lightly, like literally end up on the other field. Yeah. The curtain goes flying, and we've had a couple cases where referees and scorekeepers and other people were getting hurt because they would literally get like undercut, like leveled, just cleared, blindside hit from a guy running into the curtain. And so it became actually a dangerous situation. We had to send out an email to captains to warn them of it, and it still didn't change. So that'll now be a pseudo objectionable conduct penalty without the OC. So it's 10 yards. You don't get kicked out of the game, but it's 10 yards.
It's a 10-yard...
Because momentum carried you out and hit the curtain.
Momentum carrying you out is one thing.
Yeah.
If you crash into the curtain and go 10 feet extra...
Onto the other field.
Then we're like, it's exaggerated momentum.
So making a play on the ball and going and grabbing it and toe tapping on the sideline, and your shoulder happens to touch the curtain is not going to be considered for this type of and it's being called unnecessary contact as a penalty running into the curtain. this is truly the ones where there's the two-hand shove, someone darting through, and they end up on the other field. So you're playing on field 2, and you go so fast and so hard without regard, really, that you end up on field 1.
Yep.
So
it's clear and obvious when this happens.
Right. Okay.
And it's literally within, like, I've seen refs be 2 yards from absolutely getting leveled and smacked, and there have been injuries in the past where people have been 2 weeks off from work because they got so injured.
Yeah, and I think an easy way for people to understand this is if you're playing on field 1 or 3 at a complex that has walls, you would not hit the wall the way you would hit a curtain. And so that's what we want to try and enforce in terms of, like, pretend it's a wall and you don't know what's behind you and you can injure someone in the process.
Right.
Control your speed, control your body.
Okay, fair enough. So there'll be more of that. Blog will come out. All the rules will be updated, but those are the major ones to look forward to for winter 2024 and beyond.
There is a couple more, which we're not going to talk about today, but we've already voted on which we're going to pilot next Fall Cup.
That's what we call it, tease.
That is a tease.
Yeah,
That's what we
a
call it,
year-long tease.
And let's just say with the, and this is a foreshadowing for a future segment, with certain sports becoming more mainstream on the international stage in a few years.
Cricket, yes.
Yeah, cricket.
That we're going to be experimenting with moving our rule book in that direction.
Well, cricket plays 20 overs.
I'm going to leave it at that. And
cricket
we'll
plays
see how
20
it goes.
overs. I'm not sure how that applies to FPF. We'll find out, though. Okay, we're going to have Brent Bodkin on with us in the first hour of the show here in the next few minutes. Let's dive into co-ed then. In the meantime, I'll get Brent ready to roll here. Okay, Iggs, we talked about co-ed 1.
Yeah.
We're starting to get a clearer picture of how this is starting to unfold with co-ed 1. In your mind, with your experience right now, is it a 3 or 4 horse race for the top tier, or the top spot of co-ed 1?
So when you wrote the question, the standings didn't look the way they do right now as they appear on screen.
So he got lucky.
So now I think the question still applies, though, but my previous answer was a 3 horse race. Now, however, I believe it is a 4 horse race that you're suggesting with the top 4 here. Or I don't know. Actually, I'm not too sure how I feel about that. I mean, Kiss My End Zone needs they win and they wrap up the number 1 seed. Easy Fun can also wrap up the number 2 seed if they win their final game. So, is your question's about the number 1 seed?
Number 1 seed, because IG team has 2 games in hand. They have a game in hand right now. They have 2 games to go, right? So if they run the lot,
they could go 5-2-1.
They run the lot. They could, if there's a loss for Kiss My End Zone, can finish first place.
Yeah.
So are we looking at a 2 horse race? Looking
No.
at a 3 horse race? What are we looking at?
Right. So yeah. So never mind. So it's not a 4 horse race because Plenty of Fish can only pick up 9 points.
Yeah.
Because My End Zone already have 10. So yeah, it's a 3 horse race. Now, who do you think is going to end up with a number 1 seed?
I'm very fascinated by IG team.
Yeah.
I know they've been banged up.
A little up and down. They started very hot, right?
Yeah, like Jinsley Alexi. Sorry, I was thinking Jinsley is his name, but Jinsley Alexi
is his name.
I know, but I was saying Jinsley, like Jins, then Lee, right? That's what I was thinking.
Jins.
But Primetime, look, he's been banged up, right? He's not healthy. He's not playing full strength right now at the quarterback position. I mean, there was a game where he was literally on one leg, practically. But you know, they've had some weird moments. Like they were playing balls deep at Mary Vic a couple weeks ago.
Deep balls.
Deep balls. Sorry, and they were in control of the game. But then he just threw some bad picks, you know, and some bad throws. Like you can't do that against better teams like Kiss My End Zone or even Easy Fun. But I think they can make a run for the top spot. If maybe not the first, then for sure the second place spot, because I think they do have Easy Fun's number in terms of how they match up with them, which I did see them play earlier this season. Plenty of Fish, they're going to
good team.
They're a good team. They should hold on to the 4th spot, which will give them double elimination status, which is good for them. But I just think right now IG is the one I'm circling that is going to be fascinating. Can they cash in on that game in hand here to give them 9 points and maybe a chance to get the first seed?
So I don't think it's gonna matter. So Kiss My End Zone and Easy Fun both play deep balls. So really, it's how do you feel like those games are gonna end up? Kiss My End Zone versus deep balls.
I think deep balls is a trickier matchup for Easy Fun.
Because of their size?
Yeah, size, and they've improved. They've improved every year that they've been in this league as a team, and to see what they did against IG team, even though it wasn't a close game, they were still competitive.
Okay.
I just think they have to hit early. So when I mean by hit early, they have to be in rhythm with their completions and try to get a turnover or two along the way. If they can do that, I give them a chance in that final run of games that's going to be played, that they can upset one of those two teams at some point.
To me, it's just their offense doesn't necessarily give them that opportunity. If I look quickly, they've scored a season high of 26 points.
Yeah.
So I don't think 26 points is enough to outclass or keep it a close enough defensive battle with Kiss My End Zone or Easy Fun.
Right.
I think both of those teams can score 30 plus points. So to me, those two teams beat out deep balls and therefore get the 1 and 2 seed. And then it doesn't matter then what IG team does.
Right.
At that point.
Right. Well, that's it. But it'll be fascinating to see how this plays out.
Yep.
But you look at a team like Vultures and how they've been so far this season, and you look at also Fit Squad and Deep Balls right now. Could any of those teams maybe sneak into that green area, or are we going to say they're going to be stuck on the red side and be a single elimination status going towards knockout rounds?
Yeah, unfortunately, Vultures had a tough start to the season. That would have been my pick if they were sitting at 5 or 4 games played. Mm-hmm. But right now, at 7 games played with 5 points, they can only get 7 points. They can only, at best, tie Plenty of Fish here with a 3-4-1 record.
Right.
And if I had to venture a guess, that they lost their matchup against Plenty of Fish. If we just quickly take a look, Plenty of Fish. Actually, that's the one tie.
Yeah.
And then what? It's points against at that point, and Vultures have allowed 15 more points. So it's possible. Oh, that's really tough, though. I think the more likely scenario is for Fit Squad or Deep Balls to do that.
Right.
I just went through Deep Balls' schedule, so I don't think they're gonna. If anything, they get a point or two. That won't be enough to get them to 7 or more over Plenty of Fish. It's Fit Squad, I think, of those 3 that have the best shot at it. They would have, though, to take down IG team, which, like you said, Jeansley a little banged up, and then the matchup against Plenty of Fish, which they would really want a rematch because the first game of the season they just got wiped out 39-18.
I think the IG team, again, they have one game in hand. Whatever they do. But I think they're just bored by the regular season.
Yeah, for them it's a playoff
It's an
run.
exercise, right? Yeah. Get themselves in shape. Let's just go through the motions.
You could say that for all the teams just because it's the Fall Cup.
Yeah, it's Fall Cup, but I'm just saying that they've done it before twice, right? So they know what it is. They just turn up come playoffs. They're like the San Antonio Spurs. We don't care for regular season basketball or in this case football. Once we hit the knockout stage, that's when we're going to turn it up and run it.
You don't think they're concerned that they're looking at the top 4 standings and they're of the green teams, they're the only ones that don't have 200 points?
No.
They have 159?
Yeah, but again, they can hit the 200 points easily. They can hit it. They got 2 games left, right?
Right, but so all the other teams have 7 in green, and they've hit 200, so we're saying that they would have to hit 40.
Yeah, IG can do it.
They can.
They're building up towards the knockout round for them right now. On to Co-Ed 2. The most disappointing team in Co-Ed 2 is who? I have mine.
Go for it.
All right, hold on here. Sorry.
Okay, yeah.
My pop-up over here on the screen here.
Yeah, so many ads. Love it.
Yeah, a lot of ads. Why do we have so many ads on this website for FPF now?
Ask Rob.
Money, 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 money.
Anyway, it's the worst, man. Anyway.
It's UFC. It's get BuzzFit. Get fit.
Don't mix them up. Those are 2 separate things.
Yes, I know. Go to the gym so you can be in UFC.
You can be buzzed to look good in the gym. Okay, the teams that has disappointed me so far in Co-Ed 2. Look, I'm going to be honest. I think Predators, I thought they'd be better than what they are. They're 3-3. I thought they should have been at least 4 wins, maybe 5. They had a bit of a slow start out of the gates in terms of how they were. Remember, I kept their game on Loyola. That was, I believe, I'm just trying
early
to
on against
Christmas balls, right?
Yeah.
And that was a game where they thought it was third down, or they thought it was fourth down. And you're like, no, it's third down. Right, that game. But I just find that a lot of close wins, a lot of close losses. I still don't have a grip on this team and how they are from a DNA perspective of a football team. But I think they should have been at least 4-2, maybe even 5-1.
I disagree. I think 3-3 is exactly where they would have been. I think Cesar Garcia Diaz is progressing at the quarterback position, which is really a really tough position. You don't know what it is until you're behind the center taking the snap. I think 3-3 is exactly. I'm not disappointed in them at all. If I'm looking at disappointment. Free agents no more without a victory so far this season after 3 or 4 seasons now together as a franchise.
What about Sub-Zero?
Where are you piecing me? Peace out? To what? 2 seasons. Oh, 2 seasons?
2 seasons.
This is your third, though.
Second.
This is the third.
Second.
Winter.
Nope.
Yes.
Entirely different team.
Oh, you're in the men's Div 6? Fine. Fair enough. Second season. Okay. You're granted one more season, Eagle. Winter. Play up or shut up. What about Sub-Zero?
Remember, you scored the game. Remember?
No, that was you. I was filling in for you.
I think your bag. Yes.
Yes. I was gonna say you were at the bathroom again. No, look. They had a 0-2 start to the season. So since then they're 3-2. So I liked what I've seen from them since that bad decision on 4th and 10 from on their own 10-yard line. I liked what they've seen. They've started now to put up the points and work emails. God damn it. Yeah, I mean against Step Bros, I think that's going to be a victory. They look against Y&Y. They just fell one possession short. But Y&Y, leading the pack right now at 7-0. That's the number 1 team, and they're a possession away from tying it.
Yeah, I think that game was. It feels like it was ages ago. September 21st on Thursday Night Football, and Sub-Zero could easily be 4-3.
Yep,
easily could be 4-3, right? And I remember we reamed them hard for you reamed them. I was okay with what they did, but I mean you can sort of say they've been disappointed too, because with that talent that they have, I know the body this team played in spring season and didn't have an easy ride, but they're much more competitive now in this level of football of co-ed, and you know what, at 3-4 they can easily be 4-3, if not 5-2. But right now for them, I think they're where they're at. But this is going to be a tricky team in the playoffs. Whoever they get, if they get the right matchup, they can definitely get one. Yep. And right now, for where they are in the standings, and I believe it's on the red side, I believe, a single elimination status.
No, they're double.
Double.
They're on the final spot.
Yeah, final spot. That's right. If they can hold on to that, man, that gives them a real credit to work with in terms of being a double elimination team moving forward towards that. So I'm intrigued to see how they do. And I think, and again, with women's division next year coming back in full force, we'll see what they do as a unit. If they're going to go into women's, which they will, but will they have a team like this for co-ed or maybe a lower end division in Div 6? Who knows? But I'll be intrigued to see if they do play in a higher division of competition, how they would fare in that level. So I can't wait for that and what they do. Y&Y.
Yeah, we just spoke. Yeah, briefly.
They're 7-0.
Yeah.
Your boy Gino DeFazio running the show. Has he finally put together a roster that can win this division?
Well, he's running the sidelines, not running the show. Antoine Charlebois is running the show.
Okay, so he's the Bill Belichick to the Bill Belichick. Okay, fair enough. So has he put together a team that can run it and win this? Because he came up short last year in the in the playoffs for FPF Cup.
Yeah, I do recall that. The thing is, and it always is what's the roster? Because, my God, look at the roster size.
Oh, I am.
It's pages and pages and pages. So, who's the roster, right? Like, who's going to show up when it matters on the playoff day, right? I don't know what the roster is. So,
you need 4 to be eligible for knockout stage, right?
Right, yeah. 4 games played. So, I mean, look, given the rotation and like they've done well, obviously, particularly on the defensive side of the ball.
They have 11 players eligible right now for the knockout stage. 11.
Oh, okay. all right, so there's players to choose from, but it's, again, who's going to be there, right? And I mean, the way we know, even if all 11 show up, maybe only 6 play, but
Yeah.
so, or yeah, anyways, he might have to do some cap gymnastics there, but what's the question? Has he put up, or
He's put together a roster
Yeah.
that can finally win it.
yes, he's won all the games. They've won all the games. They're 7-0.
I think they're gonna get knocked out at some point before the finals.
So being a double elimination, you think on their way to the finals,
They will lose twice before they hit the finals. They won't make the finals.
Okay, so that they won't make the finals.
Yeah.
And who do you think? Who are 2 teams that you'll think they'll lose to?
Well, I think, look, Kiss My Christmas Balls, good team.
Struggling as of late.
Yeah, but
They were 5-0, have 2 straight losses.
yes, they'll be fine. I'm not worried about them.
Okay.
I'm not worried about them. Balls deep. I'm intrigued.
Yep.
I'm intrigued by them. They're the wild card. They're sort of like the maverick of this whole process, and what they could be.
I thought so too, but then they played each other on Sunday night, and Y&Y won 38-14. That's a pretty convincing one.
Yeah, but we've seen YY do that with Gino DeFazio led teams, and they get knocked out in the playoffs, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Like it just goes back to the point with Y&Y that it's like they're built for the regular season but can't win in the playoffs.
Okay.
And this is the best chance. I think this
Yeah.
is this is the best chance to finally do it and put it together as a whole. But I mean, can they do it? Right? Charlotte Bois is the quarterback. It's not Gino, and Gino is he's had his Kirk Cousins moments playing in FPF, and it's not been great for him. But maybe this is the right tonic required to get them that chance, right? So
yeah, I will say Antoine's having a very good season so far.
he is.
Completing 62% of his passes, 26 TDs, 3 INTs. But I remember my first season, and when you go into playoffs, it's a different animal.
Yeah.
It's okay, now it's regular season's done and over with. Now I'm playing the best of the best teams here. It's different. You really need to put your best game forward. Though being the first seed gives you the ability to play the weaker of the playoff teams by what? No. There. You don't hear much. Do you hear me? Now, do you hear me?
No.
Okay, well then just take them off.
We're gonna have our guests on though.
Oh, that is true. I don't know. We didn't hear the music coming in.
Yeah, Brent Bodkin's gonna be on
Anyways,
with us.
all to say is that if he can gain confidence early on in his playoff run, that could be something that really propels them to a long and a deep playoff run all the way to the finals.
Okay, Brent Bodkin's going to join us. How the hell are we going to do this with no sound, Eagle?
You guys literally can't hear anything?
I can't hear anything.
Well, no, I can hear myself.
I can't
But you don't hear the computer?
nothing.
What are you playing, for example? Play a noise.
I don't hear anything. I have
Play your Eagle. Tell me when you play.
I'm playing something right now.
I have nothing.
Really?
We're in trouble.
Oh, it's super, super faint.
Max your volume? Question mark?
No. Like it's super faint. Like
Fun.
Okay.
Like you literally don't hear anything.
I hear the twinkle in the song. Like, but like super faint and only.
Yeah, I have nothing.
You have nothing. I gotta do everything around here, eh?
Yep. Oh,
E.
yeah, I hear it now.
I hear nothing.
Oh, I hear it 100% now.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. We don't got a slot. Yeah, that's what I thought. There we go. This is why we can't leave you handling the thing here. Okay, let's call up Brent Bodkin. Okay, we got it figured out now. Thank God. All right, Brent Bodkin will join us soon.
How many idiots does it take to put on a headset?
But I said, though, he's like, no, you're the right slot. And I said, no, I'm
No,
not.
you didn't.
Yeah, I said, take it
What's
out.
this one doing in here? What is this?
I don't know.
He's leaving his garbage around.
We'll put it in the other slot so we don't lose it anyway. All right, Brent
Ring,
Bodkin
ring,
joins us.
ring, 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 banana phone.
Hopefully Brent picks up. I told him to pick up his phone.
It's 8:08.
You think he's going to be coming out of the swimming pool?
I
Hey.
hope so.
Brent Bodkin, are you coming out of the swimming pool? Yes or no?
Okay, no, not this time, unfortunately.
Thank God. We don't want to see no X-rated stuff, you know?
Hey, I'm a sexy beast. What can I say?
I don't know who said that.
Everybody, your sister.
Brent did just now. Oh, Mina
Oh,
called.
boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, Brent's been with his left hand for 42 years, though, huh?
Oh, okay. Simmer down. No, don't steal my joke. Don't steal my joke.
All right. Please welcome in Brent Bodkin, the Tier 1 writer for this Fall Cup season. Brent, let's dive into it. Your thoughts on how it's unfolded through 6 games for most, if not 7 for others, in this Tier 1 edition?
I mean, so you look at it, right? I mean, you have some teams who you would expect on top, right? I mean, you take a look. Well, one thing before I get there, one thing I like about this is it's a lot of veteran teams, right? I mean, that's how usually the top division is, right? So, I mean, you have teams like Blessed, you expect to be one of the front runners, Royale Luminaire. I like, though, the Maroons 2.0. I mean, obviously, the guy that me and you, Mo, No, and Chad Byers leading the way at quarterback, a guy we played tackle with back in the day. Cat Friendly Braves, another team, had a chance to check them out on Monday. Actually, they dismantled running Wentz. It's kind of a bad game for Jeff Rosenblatt. And the offense has a whole lot of missed throws, a lot of drops. But, I mean, that happens, right? Everyone has a bad game. Unfortunately for these guys, that was the case Monday night. But the top teams, I mean, you look at it, right? The top 6, you expect the 450 ballers to be in there. KGP is always a tough, gritty team. I'm surprised with the 2-4-1 record of running once. Mangoose is a team I've liked. I like going back to the spring season, right? I mean, I think Nick Schaefer is one of the top quarterbacks in the division. He has weapons. I know losing Marvin Steinberg is a huge blow to the defense, but I mean, they still have some capable guys. No regard. I mean, 1-4-1. I'd have to say those guys, along with Terror Squad, it's surprising that both teams are combined for 1 win and 2 ties, right? I mean, that's a bit of a surprise. But then you look at the top of the division, you can kind of understand a bit why that's happening. And then, unfortunately, never overtime. I've written in a couple of articles. They're improving. It's just they have too many turnovers, and they're kind of in that, not the upper class of teams. Obviously, you just look at the record, but I mean, in terms of talented quarterbacks, talented receivers, and defensive guys from top to bottom, they're lacking. Not to say they're not talented, just they're not. They lack like the elite players that every other team seems to have.
Yeah, they're miscast. No.
Yeah, I think they're really a tier 2 team who just ended up being in tier 1. But I mean, props to them for making the jump to tier 1. There's some teams that have avoided that.
Are you more okay? You mentioned a brief about Terror Squad. Are you more surprised with them that they haven't won a game, or that Bless are atop of the Tier 1 division?
No, I'm not surprised that Bless is in top of tier 1. I mean, if they would, I would have thought going into the season, worst case scenario, Bless would be maybe 3rd. Obviously, so they're up top, right? They're 6-0. So I mean, that's not a surprise. I mean, no, Terror Squad. I mean, listen, they don't have Pat Jerome. I've written about this before. They don't have Pat Jerome and some of the usual weapons. But I mean, they're led by Tam, right? They got Frankie Hogue. They got some good guys on their team. Vince Malo, unfortunately, has only played 1 game for them, so that's kind of a blow. He's usually a stalwart on that team, but there's still talented players there. So yeah, I'm surprised that they've only won 1 game so far.
Yeah. You were mentioning that you saw Run It Once on Monday night. I was peeking over here and there. Yeah, tough night out for Jeff Rosenblatt for sure. Though you still see his patented no look sideline throw to name's escaping me.
James Tyrell?
No, not. Although yes, James Tyrell's usually there.
To Breezewell.
Anthony Breezewell, yes.
Yeah.
Brain fart moment there. Anthony Breezewell. I also, though, saw a couple plays and a couple times where he's like kind of grinding into receivers. Hey, you got to understand the play concept, and like you gotta run your hook at 10 and slant in at 7 yards, not a deep post. So what did you see there from Run It Once? Do you see any signs of them maybe having a deep playoff run, turning it around, or what were your impressions with Run It Once?
I mean, again, right? I was scorekeeping the game on Monday, so I mean, I had a chance to fully see them in action. I mean, again, like I said at the top, right? It was just a bad game. I mean, look, you have this team right now. They've scored 216 points, right? So I mean, quick math here. That's an average of 36 points a game. Pardon me, a little less than that.
Yeah.
There's actually 7 games played. Okay, so it was about 31 points a game, right? So I mean, that still should be enough with the talent they have to keep them in most games. They have the roster. I mean, you look up and down, right? James O'Hagan, Anthony Breezeball, Justin Blackie, an underrated addition. I think I've played against him a couple of times, including this past spring season. Good receiver, solid defender. They got your boy Iggy Manu, solid guy. Obviously Quaid, Skyler, and those guys. So they have the talent. It's just it seems to be in big games. It's kind of been the history of the Jeff Rosenblatt led teams for the most part, unfortunately, is they kind of not getting their own way, but they kind of trip over something in the big moments. Because again, you look at this roster, they can match skill for skill with anybody, right? Jeff's a great quarterback, he's experienced, he knows how to win, but there's always something that seems to get in the way of them winning when it counts most, when the stakes are the highest.
And then just quickly, just to wrap it up with Jeff, what do you feel about, and especially that game on Monday night, and it doesn't have to be particularly that game against on Monday night, but specifically against the Braves or the cap-friendly Braves this Fall Cup. How do you feel about them consistently going for 1 point when, especially in Tier 1, a lot of these teams are going for 2? How do you feel about Jeff and the decisions he makes to go for 1 point attempts?
Yeah, I mean, I know you brought it up to me on the sideline, right, when we were there on Monday. I mean, yeah, most teams do go for 2. I mean, just because they do it doesn't mean you have to as well. I think, like I think I told you, right, on Monday, I think it's the fact that their offense was just struggling all around. Like, again, Jeff is missing some throws, or he was late on some. Guys are dropping touchdown passes, literally, as well, right? So I think just going for 1, statistically speaking, sorry, it's a little easier than going for 2. You want to get some juice, you want to get some momentum. So I think they elected to go for 1 just to get some kind of positivity out of it, right? I understand your point about going for 2, especially when the other team goes for it multiple times, as the cat-friendly Braves have been known to do. But if you're struggling to do something as simple as getting a 10-yard completion, right, for first down, going for 2 when you get to the end zone might be just as big of a struggle. So at least go for 1 so you can kind of try and get the ball rolling at least.
Brent, he had a Bryce Harper-like start to his season to shut down Lazara.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's so
He beat your
upset.
team too, Bryce Harper. I just want to say, yeah, he beat my Braves, but he swept your Marlins. Just want to make that
I
clear.
was making a correlation to Dan being Bryce Harper, nothing to do with baseball here, Brent. I don't know what you're trying to jump into. But could 4-5-0 ballers survive without Dan Lazara for this season and perhaps into the next season of winter 2024?
That's a good question. I mean, you look at it, right? Obviously, Dan is one of the top quarterbacks. You can even make the argument he is the best quarterback around. Obviously, him and Jonathan Mayhew, like, they're the 2 best, I would have to say. I mean, so you got like Johns Lee, Lexi playing. They've had AJ coming for a series 2 or 2 here and there. Same thing, Jared Taylor. I don't think over the long term they're going to win anything without Dan at quarterback, right? Dan's shown he's big time, he's money, he's a championship quarterback, a championship leader. No, so I don't think they're going to be able to survive long term without Dan Lazara.
Do you think they make an impact in the playoffs, in the knockout stages?
They're talented enough where they should. I mean, they have the double elimination, right? So, I mean, I don't expect them to go over 2. I expect them to at least probably win 1 game, depending on who they play. It's a game of matchups, right? That's what FPF is for the most part, I think. Quarterback playing matchups. So, I mean, the quarterback department is going to be different, right? I mean, if it's John Lee Alexi going is the number 1 guy in the playoffs, like, it's a different quarterback than Dan, right? I mean, he can throw the ball deep, but he's going to run around a lot and create space, create time for his receivers. You can get by with someone like that. I don't think they're going to go all the way, but I mean, I definitely expect them to win 1 playoff game with Alexi at quarterback.
All right, last question for you. We're now more than halfway through the season here.
Mm-hmm.
Are you taking Bless or the Field to win Tier 1?
So, question. I mean, there's some stiff competition.
Gotta go to the Field there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Field.
Just by probability. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Personally, I would take
you know what? Yes, you know what? I'm gonna go on the limb. I'm gonna say Blessed.
Okay.
They have the best offense.
The
Yeah, they have the best offense and they have the best defense too. Why not? You know what? Blessed. Yeah, calling it.
Yeah, they kind of look at the Phillies out there a little bit there, huh?
You talk so much trash. I don't understand why. Your teams are hot garbage, Mo. The Raiders,
I'm just
Bulls, the
saying
Marlins.
I'm just correlating them to being the Philadelphia Phillies of the tier one.
Yeah.
You know,
No, they're not
Yeah.
the Philadelphia Phillies. There's somebody down there.
Anyway,
I hate the Phillies.
we'll let you go.
I lay blessed.
We'll let you go wipe away your tears and
Yeah, okay.
go enjoy your nights.
I just want to say, guys, Iggy and Eagle, I'm sure Mo was crying when he got out of his car because I've reminded him before he came into the studio how I whooped his ass in fantasy football
By
this
6
weekend.
points.
I'm sorry.
6
I'm
points.
in first place. You're in last. That's what I thought. Just like real life.
He was
I'm
a
in
little
first place,
late.
you're in
He
last,
was a
but,
little later today and said it was due to the parking. So
was parking,
it
yeah.
was
Exactly.
perhaps tearing up his.
So all those Kleenexes. Yeah.
Yes,
Exactly.
absolutely. All right, Brent,
Sorry.
thanks so much. Look forward to your article coming
Thanks,
out,
Brent.
and we'll speak to
sure.
you soon. Be good.
All right, boys. Be good.
All right, good night.
Brent Bodkin joining us here. His Braves, ooh, they took a beating, man. Oh, was it amazing. Absolutely spectacular. All right, anyway, well, let's wrap up tier one before we get Jerome Hovington in a few minutes here.
Sure.
So, Lazara, look, I saw him, right? And he had this operation and stuff, and he was telling me, he's out for the rest of the year and probably, for the good chunk of the winter season. He may not be available. I'm not sure if he will or not. We're going to say maybe, maybe not, right? But, I worry because as great as a talent he is, to come back from that type of injury, man, that's a tough injury, man. It's like a baseball pitcher, losing their strength in the arm. So I hope for him he can regain it. It might take a little bit longer, but he may not be the proper Dan Lazare until maybe next fall when he's a year out from that injury with a full rehab and rest period as well.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully all the best for him. Yeah, let's see how that. Well, it was a bicep, right? So bicep injury, I believe.
Yeah.
So hopefully the ligaments come back strong and muscle come back strong. He'll have to put in a bit of work on that to keep his arm fresh. But hopefully he can still be one of the. He's like Brent was saying, he's arguably one of the best quarterbacks in FPF, like the best quarterback in FPF. So hopefully he's able to maintain that pace of play.
So you're taking Bless or the field?
You gotta. I love Bless, but you gotta take the field. It's if I'm putting $100 down, I gotta take the field. You have to. Just percentages.
So you think that they're not gonna win that?
No, I just think the field has a better chance. There's just tier one. Any team can beat any team on any given night. So just by that, I have 8 teams that can get eliminated before one does. Although they have to get eliminated.
So
twice,
give me a team that you're saying, okay, you know what? Yeah, this is who I'm taking right now. CFB. CFB can be the team to watch out for.
Even though Steve got a victory over the Braves 2.0, it's hard to beat a team consistently. I'm not sure if they already played them this season. If the Braves, it's their next matchup. It would be a really tough ask for any team to say go ahead and beat the Braves 3 times. They don't need the regular season victory.
Yeah,
but you'd rather win than lose. Like, this is an obvious statement.
Of course, no, 100%.
It's an obvious statement
100%.
for your confidence going into the potential playoff matchup.
Right.
And you may have to face them twice. So to beat a team 3 times, we all know how hard that is. To do that against Mayer, you have to play 3 pretty much perfect games.
Oh, by the way, on our little banner here on the FPF page over here, there's still a Adonis $2.88 for chicken breast. By the way,
well, that's on yours. We can't go there.
$2.90 for avocados, my friend.
Oh.
Pretty good price. Look at that, eh?
Okay.
Mortadella, $4.49 a pound. Is that a good price?
That's not that good, no.
Is that a good price? No.
Which one is it?
San Daniele.
No, then it's really not a good price.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, perfect. Just let everyone know what's going on in the.
Can you in the market and supermarket world? Maybe you'll have Idaho Utah eat a mortadella panini.
Oh, by the way, speaking of that, next week we're doing the Halloween candy challenge.
Yes.
Well, we got to put this, like with the FPF rules. We got to put little parameters on this here, my friend.
Okay.
We need to do 50
Okay.
in 25 minutes.
I can probably do that.
Yeah, because he had 45 minutes to do 50, man. That's a joke.
And he did it.
Yeah,
That's not a joke. That's serious candy eating.
Well, let's get going here, man. Let's go. Either you're with the big boys or you're not with the big boys.
30. That's a lot of candy.
Okay, 30 minutes.
That's a lot of just the unwrapping.
Here we
is
go.
Probably 5 minutes, 7 minutes.
But also,
worth.
you can't like ask me to like answer a bunch of questions, right? The clock stops over that period.
Okay, we'll give you.
The first time he did that shit, and I was like,
Eagle, you have 2 timeouts.
Yeah, one timeout. One timeout.
It's 2. It's an FPF game. You have 44 minutes and 2 timeouts.
You guys ready for Jerome Hovington?
Yeah, Jerome Hovington will join us here for Tier 3 coming up right now. But yeah, we're going to put a little rules here. We've done it before. In fact, Joe Marghese and Rachel Valier are like, you guys are nuts.
For the candy stuff.
Yeah.
Well, not us guys, Eagle.
Yeah. Let's welcome in Jerome Hovington to the show. Jerome, good evening.
Good evening.
Jerome, I have a question for you.
I hope so.
Halloween. I have a question. I only have one question. That's
He's
it.
a professional interviewer, by
I
the
know.
way.
Your go-to Halloween candy is what?
Oh,
Ooh, Skittles.
okay.
Okay.
Which
Regular or
bag?
sour?
Yeah, and
Or tropical.
or the
It
tropical.
depends on the mood,
blue,
man.
the
Sometimes
purple.
regular, sometimes sour. I think
Oh.
I'll lean sour.
Okay, so my next follow-up to that question is, if they were in Halloween size packs, okay, like you see like the box of 50, the box of hundreds, right, for the candies,
They have
Yep.
those.
how many can you eat in half an hour?
In half an hour?
Yeah,
Yeah, if you were given a 30-minute clock.
to eat in a
Wait,
box of 50.
Am I on something or not?
No, you're not. You're not on
So
any.
Grab the
sober.
munchies or
You're sober.
No, you're straight up clean.
You're sober.
how many candies?
Yeah, how
Or
many
like-
packs?
20, 30?
Oh, small timer, huh? Eagle.
Well,
Not-
this is normal candy eating behavior
Yeah.
and amounts.
Eagle
Eagles just.
This is a judgment-free zone, okay?
gave you the look. Eagle gave you the look. Okay, Jerome, thanks so much for having you on. We'll have you on next week. Okay, let's dive into Tier 3.
Yes.
Your thoughts so far of what we've seen for Tier 3 from top to bottom.
It's clear who's at the top of the division at the moment. I think there's a clear gap between the top teams and the other teams. I'm talking about Illegal Use of Hands, my team, Idaho Youth Pimps, West Island Boys, and Killer Rays. Though born in the 80s, the Penetrators, Joe Spanini could get there, but I think the rest of the division it's a bit weak compared to what I was expecting at the beginning of this season. I thought it would be more competitive in the middle.
I'd have to maybe disagree with you there. I mean, if you look at the middle teams, Jerome, you do have light work with a 4-3 record, so hovering around 500. We played New Diablos. That was not a necessarily easy game. Was a nice battle with them. They're sitting at 3-4. Bandits have historically been trending downward, so that one I can understand. 2-3-1, but so I'll disagree with you there. What have you felt though about the struggling teams that should or you would have thought would have done better? Teams like Blue Dry sitting at 2-5.
Yeah, you got to talk about Blue Dry for sure.
Even Bébé Dragon Magique, that's not a bad team, and
But
they're
they've been up and down though. They've been down mostly than before.
I understand, but there's that's not a team that I would think, hey, what's their record after 7 games? I'd give them 3-4, maybe squeak out an extra win, 4-3. Yet they're sitting at 2-5. So Rico Riders, that's another team that made it to the semifinals in the winter in Div 5 A or B, and they're sitting at 2-4. So talk about those teams who can maybe pull out of the single elimination bracket, because it looks like they're going to be there. Who can come out of that single elimination bracket without much trouble?
I think if Blue Dry fix whatever's happening right now, I think like their QB play is better than the other teams. Like the way he throws the ball. What's his name? I forgot. Hold up.
Fred Junot.
I know. Fred Junot, yeah. The way he throws the ball, but also the weapons he's got. Guillaume Dufresne, probably the best receiver in the division. His stats are like no one's close to him. And Yvan Desjardins, who's had an off year, but I feel like he's a really, really good player. Like he's got great hands, great route running, but he's really, really struggled this season. I don't know if he's off with Junot, but I think that's something they can fix, and perhaps the break will give him like time to fix things. Rico Riders, I don't know. I think they're too inconsistent. They have some really good games at times, but sometimes it's, I don't know. I feel like they're just gonna lose at some point. There's a game they're just not gonna be able to do anything, and they're gonna lose. Baby Dragon Magic, I don't know. I don't feel they're that good. Like I feel they've got like potential, but they're not there yet. I think it's gonna end early for them as well.
What about Trap Stars? This is a team that had success a couple years ago with Dylan Garber and Ryan Garber in particular as quarterback. And then last year they went to Dylan Garber as quarterback because it was a bit of a change. But Trap Stars are on the red side of the bracket. Could they get into the top 10 here, Jerome, and be a dark horse going into the knockout rounds?
I'm not sure. Is Cooper Young still injured?
Yeah, he's out. He's out
believe,
right now.
yeah, I believe he's out. And Jerome, just for context, so they play Killer Rays next. And they play the West Island Knights, not the West Island Boys.
I think they're simply going to lose against Killer Rays. It's not going to be that close, and they should beat West Island Knights. But that's also a trap game. That's a game West Island Knights can win. I think I don't see them going 2-0, and I can see them going 0-2. So I don't think they're going to be going in that green bracket.
When you look at, is there a team that? Right now, I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought here. I want to get that straight. I was thinking Killer Rays right now. That's what I was meant to bring it up. Killer Rays, this is a team that had a tough spring season, and now they rebound back in Fall Cup here. Are you confident enough in them that they could run the table and make a deep run in the knockout rounds?
I'd say they could, but it's going to have to go through more players than just Tyler Gerber. It's been mainly him. He's got 75 targets in 6 games, which is ridiculous.
And I think that.
And if there's any team that can just match that guy, that can stop him, that can make him like inefficient, I don't know if Tyler Bianchi will be able to like go out of his way to throw to the other receivers if that's what the defense is giving them. So I don't know. I think the test like is going to be the game against us next, which is the 8th game for both of us. It's the 8th game. Yeah, last game for both of us.
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously, like, it's not a secret. We're going to try to slow him down, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But it could be really, really good for them to test out the other receivers. But it could also be like a clear defeat. And it's just going to be tough for them, and they're going to have to find other solutions.
Jerome, a quick question here. Your leading candidate for quarterback of the year at this point in the season is who?
It's got to be Alessandro Barzoni.
Because it's close, right? It's close in terms of the touchdowns, but then you say probably Barzoni because of the less interceptions, or work it through me, explain to me.
Well, it's the record first of all, 7-0. It's hard to argue with. It brings the team to games, but it's everything. It's the efficiency, the completion percentage. He completes it's 10.3 yards per pass, which is pretty good. Highest QB rating, 33 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. 7 sacks. I don't mind that. I could look at Matthew Zapatelli as well, but it's less efficient. It's less yards. I just think Barzoni has been like the clear QB, the clear best QB on the best team, and it's his to lose.
I covered this team earlier this season, Team Saxy, and Sam Anastopoulos. He's had a really good defensive season so far, albeit though the bulk of his stats came in one game against the Rude Boys. I have him as my favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year. Do you have a favorite who you think is going to win the Defensive Player of the Year in Tier 3?
Well, it's got to be him. He's on top in interceptions with Manu Alaroy, my boy.
Hold on. I have a question for you. Hold on.
Yeah.
Your life's on the line, and you need an interception. Who are you going to rely on, Sam or Manu, to get you that INT?
In what scenario would your life be on the line if you need an interception?
Yeah, that's not how the game is played, Mo. But
listen, that's how
this is the worst kidnapping or torture scenario ever.
Pick off this ball.
If we're talking man to man, like we're playing man, I'm probably taking Sam. But if it's reading the zone, reading the play and making a play on the ball, Manu for sure. But Manu's gonna win 2A, so Sam should probably win DPOY.
Just keep that in mind. He got the bulk of his stats in one game. So does that help him or does that hurt him though?
It could hurt him, but I don't see anyone else like that's like
Rocco.
near him. Maybe Rocco Cristiano.
Yeah, that he can go off for a 3 INT game himself.
Yeah, you
right?
don't know. You still got 2 games left?
Yeah, 3, and I'm not sure if he missed 1 or 2 there. So
He missed 1. Yeah, he's got 2 games left against New Diablos, Mangoose. Like that's he can get an interception against those teams.
And pick 6 included, right? So if you're asking me a dark horse to overlap Anastopoulos, it's Rocco for me.
All right, last question for you, Jerome.
Yep.
Taking away your allegiance to Idaho Ute Pimps. Are
Yep.
you taking illegal use of hands and Ute Pimps or the field to win Tier 3?
That one's more interesting.
That's more interesting.
That's why I asked the hard questions here.
The hard-hitting questions.
I think I'm gonna be going with seeds 1 and 2 because in fall it's a long playoff season, and like overall, like especially with a double elimination, if either of these teams has a bad game, I trust them to bounce back and be really making a push towards that championship.
Okay. All right, good stuff, man. When can we see your next article coming out, please?
I'm in my exam session, so I should
What
have.
is that?
Yeah,
I
you had an
should,
exam today.
Yeah, I got another one tomorrow, so I'm really busy. But I'll try to get 2 out next week after my exams.
All right, unacceptable, but we'll let you off this week.
Thanks for taking the time, Jerome.
Thank you, Jerome. Good luck in your
You're
exam
welcome.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
He's doing basket weaving exam?
Basketball? What?
Basket weaving? Yeah.
Basket weaving. That's like the courses you're suggesting that they offer now?
Where does he go? He goes to where? Is he Sage or university?
University.
Where's he go? UQAM or?
I already struggled between the Sage and university question.
Concordia?
Why are you there?
Montreal? McGill? I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, let's wrap up Tier 3.
Yep.
West Island boys had a bit of a tricky game last week when I was at Loyola, or last Thursday at Loyola.
Right. What happened there? They went on a Hail Mary?
Yeah. Yeah. So
what happened?
So we'll make a quick story here.
Yeah.
So they played in
New Diablos.
New Diablos, and it was quite chippy with some of the New Diablo players, and of course Mike Collard and a couple of the guys from West
Well,
Island boys.
Mike Collard, actually, 3 OCs on the season. He will be suspended for the week in which he next plays.
So Bandits against West Island boys November 4th. And so they scored New Diablos.
Right.
So his last play.
Yeah.
The West Island boys drop Skylar Bailiff at quarterback, throws a Hail Mary to the end zone, caught for a touchdown. Game over. And that's it.
That's it.
That's it, man.
That's
And
the story.
Elation.
Kevin Lubin was very upset.
Oh.
And I had to stick around to make sure nothing was going to happen
He was upset with who?
with Mike Collard. I had to stick around an extra 5-10 minutes to make sure nothing was going to go on.
Huh.
So, yeah. I told you, and I told this to Eagle earlier in the earlier shows that we had, that we look at Zach Stacy as a quarterback. He's grown immensely.
Mm-hmm.
This is his best roster. I think this is a team now that's figured it out because they had some short ends. They came up short in the playoffs a couple years ago in the winter season, and
They made the finals in the spring.
right. But prior to that, though, they lost early in the playoffs to Rico Riders, I believe it was.
Yep.
But now they have a right chemistry. Nick DeMalo, you look at Julian McLaren Thompson,
A lot of speed.
Skylar Bailiff.
Ethan Adrian.
Yeah, like they were down. Who were they down? They were down to Trap Stars.
Right. 3 scores.
3
or
scores.
so.
They came back and ran them off the field. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't even close,
Yeah.
right? They ran them off, scored 31 unanswered against them,
I recall. Yeah.
and this growing, and they're getting better and better game by game. They can win it any fashion. They can be down by 3 scores, beat you by 1. They can be down in the last play and beat you in the last play.
Yep.
They can beat you by 3 scores. They can do whatever they want, and they just adapt well. And that's why I'm really watching out for them going towards the knockout stage, that they could make a deep run again and get into that final on December 9th or 10th.
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything you said there. They'll have to go against Idaho Ute Pimps or illegal use of hands once, if not twice, on that way to a deep playoff run. and they'll have to get over the hump of Idaho Utapims, right? That was the final in the spring season. So if it's not once, they'll have to beat them potentially twice.
Yeah, and I just think now they're my favorites to win Tier 3. West Island Boys.
Okay.
Now that's I know you're involved, right?
Oh no. I'm just I just it wasn't clear. I mentioned both team names, and then you said their favorite to win. So
Yeah, let's say
I just wasn't
West
sure
Island
who.
Boys. That's what I have right now is my favorite to win. So I think Tier 3 has a little bit more unknown right now going towards the knockout stages. A little bit more parity, I think, in the top to middle part of the division here.
Yeah.
All right, on to women's. Looking at the teams that could fall below into the single elimination category, Wolfpack or Red Nation, are they vulnerable to fall into that red side of the standings and stay on the green side?
I'd say yes, just looking at the team names. Wildcats are a team that they struggled early on and have been playing better as of late. Their next, I think they play Red Nation. So Wildcats Red Nation might just be a win and you're in the double elimination side of the bracket, while Red Nation have, of course,
they have a game in hand as well.
And they have the game in hand. Before that Wildcats game, they play Wolfpack. So those three teams that we're talking about are all playing against each other. So if we do this in the typical Eagle fashion, let's break it down, game by game. So first it's Wolfpack Red Nation.
Wolfpack when they clinch themselves a green ticket.
I would tend to agree, but man, every time this is where Red Nation starts picking up their game. Early on in the season, they played well and were riding the high of their spring season championship. There was a lull in the middle part of their season. This is usually around the time where they pick it up. But all right, I can see Wolfpack winning that game. So Wolfpack clinch, and Red Nation are now 3-4. So are Wildcats, and that's your win and you're in scenario.
For double elimination.
To reach the green side, the double elimination, and I just like the way Wildcats have been going. They're trending upwards, and I think Red Nation are the ones that would fall.
Yeah, I think Red Nation they're in a little bit of trouble right now. They've proven us wrong, right? They've gone to multiple finals.
Every
they
time.
always do the same thing here, but I feel like in this Mortal Kombat hierarchy right now, I mean, look, we know who the best are, right? It's Vortex and Brutes. We know that.
Yeah.
But in this case here, they need to have double elimination because they're the type of team that can have a bad game and rebound back, right? And run it. But in this case, if you get single elimination, you have that bad game, you're done.
Yeah.
So that's why I think they definitely need this more.
They do need it more. I mean, they have an interesting. They just need one win. Right?
Yeah.
They just need one win, and they have 2 games. So, look, they have their superstar in Gigi Cabillo-Abante, but so do Wolfpack. They have Maryse Paquette, and Wildcats have Josiane Martin. They're a bit more depth on Wildcats.
Yeah.
So let's see. A lot of this goes on Alison Sobel's shoulders. The matchup, which they just played Wolfpack, so there's a double header in terms of back-to-back weeks where they play Wolfpack. Camille Dumas outplayed her, completed a lot more of her passes, was more methodical, drove the field, 3 touchdowns to 2. She's just, Alison Sobel's going to have to outplay the quarterbacks in each of these 2 matchups if they want at least one victory.
Yeah, she's going to have to be a flair merchant out there and really control that storyline as well. Look, Vortex, they're undefeated 7-0. We know the roster fairly well. It's loaded, it's talented, it's fantastic. Perhaps 1 or 2, maybe 3 Olympic bound in LA. We'll find out in 4 years from now, 5 years from now. But when you look at it now in terms of them and Brutes, I meant to say Brutes. Brutes, that's what I was referring to. For Brutes right now, if they don't win it, how disappointing would it be? Because they've come close, but they've always come up short.
Are you sure you're talking about Brutes or Vortex?
Brutes. I meant to say Brutes.
You meant to say Brutes?
Brutes.
Okay.
That's what I meant to say. I apologize. I meant to say Brutes. I got
Okay.
caught by Vortex.
Because if the question was how disappointing would it be if Vortex doesn't win it all,
yeah, I meant to say Brutes.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
I wouldn't think it would be all that disappointing, just given especially their last outcome, which was a loss to the Brutes. So yeah, I think so the question makes a bit more sense now.
Yeah,
if
Brutes.
it would be disheartening because they, of course, in last fall season lost to Vortex in the finals and made the winter finals as well, and got kind of run out of the table there in the winter finals. Yeah, it would be a tough blow because this is their season.
It has to be.
45-13 over Vortex. Like, they are clicking on all cylinders. Maud like has just getting better. She's already good. She's getting better and better and better every week. And I feel like playing co-ed is actually helping her. Man, she's good. She's really, really good.
It's set up for them to win it and run it, which will give her great confidence going towards the winter season, right? We know, look, winter women's 1 is the Champions League for flag football for our league because it's best on best.
Yeah.
And to have that confidence, to have silverware in your back pocket that you won a championship,
Goes a long way.
it goes a long way for the credibility, and it goes a long way for the confidence. It goes a long way for the belief that you can do it in the winter season. And I'm really hoping they do it because they're my team. You know, Maud said I'm her favorite scorekeeper. So it's big time, right? Better than you, Iggy.
Better than me than at scorekeeping?
That's what she said.
Oh, she said that? Okay.
Maybe she said that.
Now you're starting beef.
I'm not trying to start beef. Anyway, we'll find out though. With them, they look. It's theirs to lose. That's for sure though. On to tier 4. Super Troopers.
Yeah.
Should they feel comfortable on
No.
holding on to the top spot?
That's a different question. No, still no, because Ramfins are hot on their tail.
The best logo in FPF.
Although, who do Super Troopers play? No, that's inaccurate about Ramfins. They play Cookie Monsters next. That's an interesting one.
very unique.
This is going to be a very interesting battle for not the top spot for Cookie Monsters because they're sitting at 4-3. But it's a team that can match the score or match the points that Super Troopers have been able to put up. Interesting, for both teams. Kenny Boutelier has struggled in the past at quarterbacking, and you're seeing it's starting to click. Without having seen him play this season per se, I can just tell by the score lines and reviewing the play-by-play that it's starting to click. And that he's probably releasing the ball faster, and yes, he's still mixing up the run, which is something that Felix Boudet can do just to play on play the counterpart version of in that game that they're gonna play. But Boutelier's quarterbacking has always been 7 TDs to 10 INTs, 18 to 20. He's always had thrown more interceptions than touchdowns, if I had to venture a guess. And this season, 29-8. Right. So he's really taken, and it takes time. It takes 2 or 3 seasons, and this is now his quote unquote first breakout season to see some success. And so I'm super happy for him for there. And from the Cookies Monster side of things, 4-3 is a good record for your first season with Felix Boutet throwing. He has some good athletes to complement his game. I think more importantly than the offenses, it's going to be the defenses. Which one can get a critical stop, get a critical D flag, because both of these quarterbacks can run. They're both shifty. They can both pick up a first down when they need it on 4th. So deflagging, defenses, stops are going to be critical in this one.
So it brings us to my next question, right? Cookie Monsters Toon Squad, who do you like better to go deep in the knockout stage? Because they're both within that same ballpark of 8 points, 4 wins for Cookie Monster, 3 wins for Toon Squad. Yeah. And they're both...
Toon Squad, though, 2 ties.
2 ties, that's right, yes.
Yeah.
And they have a game in hand over Cookie Monsters. So they could jump them at the end of the day. So who are you liking in that 2-horse race in terms of how far they can go?
It's an interesting question because I score kept the game they played against each other. Now, Cookie Monsters, because of their cap situation, meaning that everyone's so low, they were able to bring on board Jeremy White for that game against Toon Squad. Gardner Ross is like, why am I playing against Jeremy White in Tier 4? I'm like, dude, they have the cap space for it. And it was actually critical because in that game, Jeremy White, both teams were driving and Toon Squad was doing a good job of driving and scoring.
Mm-hmm.
But there was just one particular drive where he got picked off on the 1 yard line for a touchback by Jeremy White. So just happened to be. So they what I'm trying to say is that they could have won the game. They were right in that game with Cookie Monsters. I want to say Cookie Monsters, but I'm actually gonna go with Toon Squad.
I agree.
For your question.
I agree.
I think they've now had that they're past the point of we're playing now in the men's division. We're straight out of FPF Junior. They've now accumulated 3-4. This might even be their 5th season now playing in the men's. They're no longer relying on any sideline coaches. It's been a few seasons of that now, but now they're starting to get the management of the game and the play calling and situational play calling. And I just like the more experience that they've accumulated over the season. So I'm going.
Yeah, they have a better template now than before.
Yeah,
the outline is a lot more clear than what it was before for them. And I do like Toon Squad. I think they can. They had those years in the COVID years, C19 era, where great starts, but they would smoke because they knew they weren't at that mental, physical capacity yet because they were high schoolers practically, first-year stage-up kids.
Yeah.
But now they are a little bit older, a little bit more grizzled in terms of their FPF experience, and I think they can make a run. I'm not saying they can go to like the final here.
Yeah, no.
But they can win a game, maybe 2. If things go their way, maybe 3. But they definitely have the artillery to go far enough in terms of where they are now and make a deep run in the playoffs here or the knockout stages of Tier 4. So I'm intrigued to see what they do. But just below them, you got Bend Don't Break, Pack a Punch, Make a Run. They're right now at spots 8, 9, and 10. Do you think, Iggy, one of these teams falls below the dotted line and who jumps up that's on the red side into the green territory?
If I had to pick one, I'd probably lean towards Pack a Punch. Though Mega Run, I liked what I saw early on, and then they've lost a couple games that I would have expected them to win. So maybe there's some signs of trouble there. But I'd have to say Pack a Punch, and then who could jump them? Win Diesel, again, that's another team that they're kind of trending in the opposite direction, right? We outlined their struggles. Eagle did particularly early on with Win Diesel. They're now sitting at 3-3. If they were sitting either at 0-2 or 0-3, they're now either on a 2-game or 3-game win streak. So I'd have to pick Win Diesel up, Pack a Punch down.
Mega Ron's gonna be okay. I saw them play a couple of times now.
Yeah,
and.
You can tell they've played before.
Yeah.
Not FPF, but somewhere else.
They're good. They got some athletes in this team here. Max Angulo is a solid quarterback. They got some ballers on the receiving side, very balanced attack. Their defense is very good. They love man-to-man. They challenge you to go and throw it up there and see what they can do. You can see by their stats that they've had. Even the game that they played against Win Diesel, they just ran it on these guys. It was not even close at all. So Mega Ron, I think, is safe from that perspective here for where they're going to be at the end of the day. I think they will be a double status going towards the knockout stages. The team that I think that could jump up here, as I'm waiting for my computer to load up with the stats here, the team that I'm intrigued to see, though, is Eagle.
Skål.
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 Let's time it up properly. Ready? Here we go.
I refuse to do that.
Skål.
I did it once for you, Mo.
I know you're very non-fun. Peas would have been
Non-fun. No, Peas would not do that.
Yes, he would.
We need a Peas take on the Skål clap.
Yeah, please get a recorded thing from Peas, please, for next week. Thank you. Skål. I know they got whipped by Toon Squad.
By Toon Squad, yeah.
But they have the chance to sneak up, and I think they could do so. Like they beat Ramfins earlier this season. They had a close affair against Threat Level Midnight, albeit they lost that game here. So they've had 2 games which could have gone their way.
Yeah,
They could have been 5-1.
I've seen them. They're good, but then they lose to Threat Level Midnight, and then lose like those games. To Toon Squad. It's fine if you lose to Toon Squad. 45-24.
They sound very Scully, if you know what I mean.
They sound.
Yeah, because this is exactly what the Vikings do every year.
No.
Oh
yes.
right, yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Would it be better than Packers this year? What do you think?
The Vikings or Skull?
Packers.
What?
Sorry, this Vikings. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be like 1 victory over the Packers. Sorry, Eagle.
It's fine.
You're now subject to mediocrity quarterback.
I'll do it once every 40 years.
It might be for a while. You never know.
Maybe. Yeah, it could be worse. I could be a Raiders fan.
We beat you guys though.
Yeah, not earned. That's fine.
How's that not earned? We beat you guys.
On Monday Night Football.
Well, by the way, when do we do the Arush challenge?
Whenever we get the Arush.
But the thing is, it's a little bit different though.
What's different about it?
Because I mean, I don't really eat bread anymore.
You don't eat bread
Even
anymore?
since-
Do you eat
since the last
anything?
time?
No, I changed my whole diet. Like I don't eat as much bread. Like a very minimal bread.
You and your pizzas.
Pizza is one thing. That's my cheat meal. But I'm saying on a
Ah.
daily basis though, right?
Cauliflower or what? Your cauliflower bread
No, but
for your pizzas.
I'll do it for a Arush. But I need like a bigger like window here because it's gonna go through my system like there's no tomorrow.
Well, there is no tomorrow
I know.
because you need an interception for life and death.
I know, and Jerome couldn't do it. Couldn't decide, Manu or Sam. Anyway,
He went with an interesting take there.
he definitely
With
did.
the zone versus man.
He definitely did. Anyway, so I'm watching out for school. That's my team. We're going to see how this plays out. On to Tier 2.
All right. Speaking of Arush, Tier 2.
Yes, Tier 2. That's a great segue into Tier 2. All right, look, you look at Ambush. You look at Game Changers as well. And finally, Arush. They're all struggling, but are they thought what they are? Like, are they where they are right now in the standings for where the position is?
Huh? What?
They're struggling.
Yes. You want to try again? They
I don't know.
are where they are.
Yeah, they are where they are. They are where they are.
Okay. They're struggling. They are where they are. Are you trying to ask me, is that where they should be?
Yes. I lost my train of thoughts. It's been a long day.
I think Arush. So the last time they played in a Fall Cup was last year,
And they had like 18 games.
They were in Tier 3 though, and in their previous seasons they did play Tier 2, but there were only 3 tiers. So this is their first time. And you know what? I was actually thinking about Arush because we were gonna maybe pick it up today. That they've usually played in the fall, so their ratings haven't usually been adjusted like most teams. They did play in the winter, so their ratings have slightly gone up, but not like at the same pace as these other teams. So this is actually the first like struggling season that they've had in a few seasons now, and so but it's normal. Like they're now starting to play teams that are up to their level because I believe they went undefeated last year in Tier 3. So I'm okay with where they're sitting at with 2, 3, and 2. If that, if one of those ties goes to a win and one of them becomes a loss, they're 3 and 4. Yeah, that's pretty much where they should be. Ambush, if you I think Ben McMahon and Ambush, I think amazing teams, but then because he takes a like 19-point cap hit because of his QB flex, his roster's not as strong as it usually is. So 3, and 1, batting 500 here in a really tough Tier 2 division is totally acceptable. So for me, it's game changers. 3 and 3. This seems, and I say that, and they might be like, "Oh, why are you hating on us?" It's actually a compliment. I think this team should be better than 3 and 3. That's a really good team with Anton Sakis.
Sakic.
They to me should be 4 and 2. I think 5 and 1 would have been tough, but I think they should be 4 and 2. I think one of their losses should have been a win.
Yeah, you know what? After they had that win over Diamond Bougie in the spring season,
Yeah.
and they never recovered from that game. They went on a bye week.
They never recovered from a win.
No, because they went on a 3-week bye week. They had all their games in the first.
You're cracking me up.
No, but I'm serious though. They
never recovered from their win. Okay,
They
I've
never
never
did.
heard this.
because they went on a 3-week bye week because it was an
Yes.
inbound schedule. Was
So
some
they
teams-
never recovered from the long break.
Yeah, never recovered from the bye week. Never recovered. 3-week bye week.
And now what? Maybe we're making a very insightful point here. How long have they been off for? They've been off for 2 weeks. So are you
Yes.
suggesting that now their 2-week break they're going to struggle?
Yeah.
Perhaps against Fins Up and
Yeah.
against Dirty Birds?
Yeah, Fins Up. They're going to have
Okay.
difficulty playing Dirty Birds, who are a good team. And Fins Up, man, they
teams
look
are good.
very good. They look very good. They could be your dark horses going towards the playoffs. But I think Game Changers are the team to watch out. Arouche, I just find that they're just missing something. They're missing something from that roster right now. I mean, to step up, yes,
Yeah.
but they're missing that piece. And could they find that piece for the winter season
Right.
if they're back?
Because they have the wide receiver one, Simone Lozier.
Yes.
Absolutely. And then after that, I think what they're missing is a true wide receiver 2. Because I think they have a bunch of wide receiver 3s after. And they're all really good. I like Bastien, Faneuf Thibault,
Felix Menard.
Félix Menard, their snapper, I'm forgetting their name. I know Thomas Legault's not the snapper, but he's a good wide receiver 3. And they have a lot of depth, and it's good depth, but they're missing that key cog at the wide receiver 2 slot.
Right. And I just think if they can find that piece, they become more dynamic with their offensive play calling for next year.
And Antoine Préfontaine
Yeah.
is a snapper. Sorry.
Eric Lalonde would have a better, than trying to force feed Simon Loisier all the time.
Yeah, 55 targets. I mean, 55 for Lozier and 46 for Préfontaine.
Yeah, that's a
So
lot of targets. for two
90,
plays.
90 targets between your snapper and your wide
Yeah,
receiver.
we need a little bit more communism to kind of spread the wealth here of targets and kind of get them more in that range. But if they can find a target, a second solid option here for Lalonde, I think that helps them immensely in terms of where they want to be. Le Pas et Bessette,
Yeah.
how surprised? I'm surprised. I'm very surprised that they are where they are right now, which is at 2-5. And for them, they are on the borderline of maybe getting into the top 8. But
They could still make it?
they can still make it the 2-5, right?
Yep.
I mean, it has to go their way. There has to be a lot of things that go their way. But how surprised are you that this team has struggled and are going to probably be a single elimination status going towards the knockout stages?
I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. I think I convinced myself out of it. I think at initial glance, you say Pas de Bessette, Fred Paquette-Perreault throwing 2-5. What? But then, if you think about it, they didn't play Division B last year. They were in Division C, which was a good division. Don't get me wrong. They beat me on a Hail Mary play, but they're finally playing the competition that they should be playing.
Mm-hmm.
And all these games, I mean, most of them have been pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're close games, and they're close games, and they're playing in the right division. And while 2-5 in a professional league is not a good record, it's not a terrible record in FPF. So, am I surprised? Yes, at first glance, but then you take a deeper dive like the Eagle is with the schedule, and no, not really. And plus, last game they didn't have Paquette-Perreault. They had Raph Dagenet throwing against Kiss My In-Laws. So they could have been 3-4. A win-loss here. They're 3-4, 2-5. Not surprised.
Just trying to do the math in my head here quick.
Yeah.
They're 1-1, 1-2.
But yeah, I mean, I know
1-3 in games set by 5 points less.
1-3. Yeah, like that's they could easily be 3-1, right?
Yeah.
We could be saying, wow, look at this team, 5-2, shining star. I'll say this. That's a scary team to go up against in a
I wouldn't want to play them.
one playoff game elimination.
Would not
right?
want to play them.
Like that combination of Paquette-Perreault and Tristan Fiscasso is scary. It's really tough to stop it.
Yeah.
What stops it is when Paquette-Perreault's inaccurate with his ball and it goes out of bounds 5 yards over Fiscasso's head. That's how you stop it.
Yeah. No, I just think they are going to be tough, whoever they get. You know, they might get into that, final quarterfinal window, maybe semifinal.
Yeah.
And go their way. Okay, among the win-win teams, Voodoo, Boys Are Back, Junkyard Dogs, and still CRA, who are you liking?
Pretty easy.
Because there's all four of them have some history in FPF or some long-term history in FPF, right?
All of them do.
Yeah. Some form of history in FPF. So who are you liking?
I think it's obvious. Do you have one that sticks out?
Still CRA.
Really? That's not.
Yeah.
For me, it's Junkyard Dogs.
I don't have confidence in JYD, man.
Go for still CRA.
Reason why,
make your case.
if Bakalani comes back healthy,
Okay.
it helps the passing game. Nirosh is a really good. Nirosh Suresh is a really good receiver.
Absolutely. Don't disagree.
Thomas Lajoie is a good receiver. They just got to get Ryan Caruth playing better.
He's throwing so many picks.
Yeah, and I think that's because of the position they're in the division they're in. I think they're in the wrong division this year. I don't think they're in the right spot for where they want to be. But Caruth, I know he's throwing a lot of INTs, but if he can get that magic dust and create some momentum, right? 1 or 2 games where he keeps a clean game. He maybe throw 1 INT, but if he keeps a clean game and throws 3-4 touchdowns, I give this team a chance, man. I really do. Remember, this is a team. Sorry, this is a team a few years ago that was a heavy favorite to win, and they came up. They were one and done, or they were done in the early round of a playoff. This composition of this team. It was winter season, whatever it was. So they had pedigree. They had the pedigree, man.
But it matters if it's Div 5. Okay, and we're talking tier 2 now. If it's Div 4, that has a bit more weight that comes with it. To me, the difference between Ryan Caruth and Jason Rossi is that Ryan Caruth will force the ball and will create scenarios in which they're down big or just down in general.
Yeah.
Whereas Jason Rossi needs the game context to be that they're, down and by 2 possessions. And then his game starts spiraling down. And then he's throwing the interceptions. I'm not sure if I was clear with that. But to me, it's that Ryan Caruth's overzealousness and trying to fit a ball into a tight window because he has a rocket of an arm leads to tip balls by, my God, he's throwing a rocket and it's a hard-ass ball too. And my God, when it was cold out, I can't imagine. Tip balls that get picked off or they're just super tight windows. He creates the scenarios where they're down big, whereas Jason Rossi, the game scenario of being down big leads him to throw more interceptions.
Yeah, but I just find this roster that Rossi has for
it's a good. I like the roster.
It's okay, but they're not there, man. It's always like they're not on the same consistent roster. Like Brandon Robson's missing 1 game.
That's true.
Evan Desjardins missed a game. You know, they don't have the same components in place.
When they're all there, though, it's a good.
Yeah, it's a good roster, man. But like, it's like I feel like still CRA has a bit of that wild card in them.
I feel the same about Junkyard Dogs.
We're on different wavelengths.
No, we're on the exact same wavelength, just about a different team.
Different teams, indeed.
Yeah.
Speaking of teams,
yes.
The big news in the IOC world of the Olympic Committee is that they've approved a plethora of sports, including flag football. All right, yeah,
we made it.
We made it.
We did.
We made it. No. I mean, we made it.
All of us.
All of us. We're gonna wear the gold medal on our necks when Canada wins. But first off, congratulations to those who put in a lot of hard work and effort to getting this sport to be certified by the IOC for the Olympic Games in 2028. People have asked me, and what do you think? Working in the sports world, how could this play out for flag football? By all means, I want it to succeed, but the reality is, we know Eagle and Iggs that a new sport takes time to settle and kind of grow. So this might take 3, if not 4 Olympic Games, if it does last that long, for the world to catch on and create competition. Because the reality is, and I told you off air, guys, right? The NBA, when they said we're going Dream Team 1992 Barcelona, what has happened? 30 years later, we see the worldwide influx of players, male and female, playing WNBA and NBA, and it's flourished. Flag football is a different sport because it's new and it's It's established in North America. It's established in other markets like Europe, some Europe markets,
South
Tokyo,
America.
Japan, South America, parts of that. But it's going to take a little bit of time for this to kind of develop here. Let the seeds harvest and kind of grow. So what I think is going to happen is that we're going to see probably USA, Mexico, and Canada be your top 3 for women's. And then the same thing for the men's, where it's going to be USA, Canada, and Mexico. But the NFL will have an influence in this situation here because the NFL realizes, like the NBA did 30 years ago, 40 years ago, we need to tap into the worldwide market so this sport is played by everyone out there and becomes a must-watch. So this is where the NFL will have an influence. And I'm happy. But, if you're Canada, if you're Mexico, if you're these teams, you better bring your A+++++ because they are going to bring their top hitters for this event in LA because they want to make sure this sport sticks and becomes a prominent sport for life.
That said, A++. Who is A++? What are we doing?
We are doing, what if we had our starting 5 for the men's and women's Olympic team for Team Canada from FPF?
We doing a starting 5 offense and defense?
No, this starts 5. Just 5.
Just 5.
Just 5.
That
Because we
doesn't
start
answer
doing
the
that,
question.
it becomes very complicated because, Mike Pierce saying, hey, what about me? I'm like, well, Mike, you're not good enough for my starting 5, bro. Simple as that.
What's the starting 5 offense?
You're 5. This is 5. You're 5 because, remember, obviously it's not.
It's two-way.
Yeah, you're 5. You're 5 because remember, at the Olympics, it's not going to be your Team Quebec going as Team Canada. They're going to bring the best of the best, right?
Yep.
So we're going to see our 5 best Quebec players and our 5 best Quebec players from male and female that would go representing Team Canada.
Wait. I thought we were doing something different. I thought we were doing the 5 best FPF players.
Yeah, FPF players. Yeah, FPF
Okay.
guys.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. My 5
Guys and girls.
best FPF players. However, the website was down earlier today, so I only got 4 for the women's team. So I'm gonna have to figure out my 5th one right now on the
Okay.
fly here.
Okay.
Here we go. You want to go first?
For
women's? Yeah, women's. Yeah.
Okay. My starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I saw yours,
Yes,
so I had to go with the other.
I know you did.
Sarah Parker. No
she
surprise.
did promote it today
Yeah,
for Team
yeah.
Canada. How well would it be if she got cut from Team Canada? Sorry, you're not making the team. We gotta go somewhere else.
We can have the same players.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
Okay, so they're two-way. They're playing both ways.
This is the 5 best. Like you can say, these are the 5 best who are going to go represent Team Canada. Doesn't matter about 2-way, nothing. Just the 5 best players.
Okay. I still think my list is fine. Are we gonna do 5 and then the one that we?
Why are you making this so complicated?
Yeah,
Pick
dude,
5
just
people.
pick 5 best,
Sarah
man.
Parker, Laurence Pontbriand. I have Catherine Gaumont making the roster.
Mm-hmm.
I have Caroline Moquin-Joubert at number 4.
Yeah.
And my 5th player, I need a rusher.
You can take whoever you want. You're 5 best, man. Doesn't matter.
I was going to take... that's hard. I'll go Sabrina Gervais. That's my 5th.
Okay. All right. So I like it. I like it a lot.
I got some height. I have, the height in Laurence Pontbriand, Catherine Gaumont. I have the speediness, shiftiness, and defensive play, and 2-way play of Caroline Moquin-Joubert and Sabrina Gervais. I like my team there.
I like your team. It's solid here. Okay. Maud Lacasse is going for me. She's got experience with Team Canada, tackle.
Mm-hmm.
She's a gamer. I think she's ready to roll. Laurence Pontbriand would be a matchup nightmare for a lot of the opponents, but they need her size to match up with the Americans. That's going to be massive.
Yep.
Emma Racine.
Okay.
I know she came off an injury.
Yep.
But she...
You got to project 5 years in advance.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, and she's on that radar, man. Like, I think she's a baller.
Yep.
I remember watching her play during the C19, and she was dominant.
Oh, yeah.
She's a killer out there, cerebral assassin, and how she is. That's someone I'm watching out for. Marie-Lou Bellon.
Oh.
Yeah, I think the Bellon. We might have our first sibling gold medal winners.
Ooh.
Guillaume Bellon and Marie-Lou Bellon.
Yeah.
I think though Marie-Lou would definitely make it on my team. I know I picked Maud Lacasse. Sarah Parker would be a close to me. I think Sarah Parker will be.
It's 1A, 1B.
Yeah, exactly. Sarah Parker's going to go.
They're interchangeable.
Yeah, exactly. Sarah Parker would go. But that 5th spot, I just thought, like I said, let me go wild card, right?
Okay. Ooh.
Go wild card because I think we've seen athletes transition from one sport to another sport, and the Olympics. Gigi Cabello-Bonte.
Oh, I like that one.
Basketball player to a flag
She's
football player.
good, man. She is good.
Yeah.
She is a difference maker out there.
Yeah.
She makes plays happen both sides. I
Absolutely.
love that pick.
Absolutely.
Love that pick.
You go from a basketball player to a football player.
Hopefully in 5 years she'll be healed up. Rachel Valliere is also probably on that
Yeah,
list.
Rochelle's.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
But Emma Racina, I think, is the one to watch out for in the long view. I think she's going to make Team Canada. I really do. And remember, it's not going to be Quebec representing. It's going to be all of Canada, from Victoria, BC to St. John's, Newfoundland, and points in between. The best of the best will be representing Canada. Can't wait. All right, the men's. Should I go first?
Yeah, you start now.
Joe Mayer.
Okay.
Chris Millard.
Okay.
Millard, but I call him Millard. He likes that.
Yard.
James Drysdale.
Yeah.
Yep.
You need that type of Spider-Man,
Yeah.
Cirque du Soleil type of body.
Canadian Tyreek Hill.
No, he's not. He's like, whatever.
He's like, whatever.
Julien Payemont.
Oh.
I think he's smart. He fits that type of play. And Adriel Gomez. I think you need that little edge. The Americans are going to be swaggering its way through, and AJ will come back with a nice couple of missiles towards Team USA. So
Okay.
give me AJ Gomez.
All right. I have some similarities, some differences, though. Quarterbacking the team in 5 years, Joe Mayer. Snapping for him, Mike Piercin. James Drysdale on the team. So commonality there. Number 4, Phil Fadin.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
I have
fit.
Phil
Yeah.
Fadin there. And number 5, AJ Gomes. Yeah, you
Yeah.
do. You need that. You do need that fire that get the team mojo going when get riled up.
Oh man, is he going to be okay to play? Because they're going to test, man, for all sorts of things.
For all stars.
I mean, okay, put it this way. If you're on, like, the Canadian Flag Football Committee, they're going to be stringent with you in terms of what you can and can't do. Like, you're gonna be under
man,
supervision.
can he survive not taking that tree?
The
The trees for a good year or 6-7 months, right? Because Olympic qualifying, I would imagine, right?
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, they test you for that. Oh, well, that's AJ next time.
Peas, you're
Peas is out, man. Peas
you're
is
out. You're out, Peas.
It's it's actually out. All right, it is now time for the BuzzFit promo.
Hey FPF players, looking to take your fitness to the next level? BuzzFit Gyms has a special offer just for you. Join us today with no initiation costs. Get ready to score big in the gym and on the field. Visit us at BuzzFit Gyms and seize this exclusive deal now.
And now we can get to our games of the week.
Let's do it. Get back on that track.
I mean, this is the first time we do games of the week in what feels like forever.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
All right, let's go through these.
Yeah.
We're going to start with Co-Ed Tier 1, the IG team and Fit Squad.
IG team.
It's close actually, but I'll go IG team.
And this is going to be a short week for sure. Co-Ed 2, who's going to carry the boats? Free agents no more.
Gather boats.
Boats.
Next, we have Tier 1, Royaume Luminaire, 450 Ballers.
450.
On a smaller field, Royaume Lumina.
Cap-friendly Braves, #NR.
CFB.
Yeah, the Braves.
Terror Squad, KGP.
KGP.
I'll go Terror Squad.
All
Get their
right.
first win of the season.
We're going to go Tier 3, Killer Rays, Trap Stars.
Rays.
Yeah, that's actually a good one. Killer Race.
Rico Riders, Team Sexy.
Team, Riders, sorry.
Yeah, I'll go with more experience, more size, Rico Riders.
Women's Division, Red Nation, Wolfpack.
What?
More experience, more size.
Yeah.
Carry on, please, Eagle.
Pick a team, Red Nation, Wolfpack.
I'm going to Red Nation.
I'm going Wolfpack.
How easily distracted sometimes. Tier 4,
Oh, really?
Skull,
Okay.
Pack a Punch.
Skull.
There was not even a clap. I'll go Skull.
Bend, Don't Break, Megaron.
Negron.
Megaron, but it's close.
Bloodline, Mutation.
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 Pack a Punch, Salts in a Pepper.
Pack a punch.
Salsa and papa.
Bloodline only flags.
Only flags.
I'll go only flags.
Dewey molasses. Shat rats.
Do molasses.
Dewey.
And lastly, tier 2, Junkyard Dogs, Easy W.
Easy W.
Easy W.
Les Potabesset, Arouche.
This is a good rivalry. I'm gonna go,
Really?
yeah, it's a good rivalry. Yeah, it's a good rivalry. I'm gonna go Le Pot.
It's the first time. I'll go but.
Well, they all know each other. They played with McGill
Okay.
and stuff like that.
Okay.
University.
Potabesset.
Fins Up, Game Changers.
Fins up.
That one's tough. I'll go fins up by 1 point.
Ooh, the Boys Are Back, the Stoics.
Stoics.
And lastly, Voodoo, Dirty Birds.
Dirty Birds.
And that is our games of the week.
Okay, that was quick. All right. Just a reminder, I know there was an offside by us about the winter registration and stuff, but please keep that open. That is going to be revealed officially, not to be determined. Date to be determined sometime in November, we would imagine.
Yeah, we're actually going to be meeting about it tomorrow. So we want to do roster rating revisions for Fall Cup, but November 1st, the season's still active. So we're just going to figure out what we got to do there and everything.
And for those who think they need to lower their cap, we recommend you send your submission as soon as possible because winter's the biggest season in terms of numbers. And these guys, trust me, get a lot of emails, and sometimes one or two get lost through the cracks, and we don't see it till the day of, and it becomes a real headache. So please send your submissions as soon as possible once it is officially a go time.
I was going to say, once the new ratings are posted. Don't send it now because I'm not going to do shit.
Exactly. Once it's official go time. All right, magic words, please.
What happened recently?
Good night, Atlanta Braves.
Good night, Kirby Doc.
Oh, no. That's sad.